Three things to know tonight. Number one, we've never seen a police chase like this. Colorado, a thief steals a scooter. There he goes down the street. The cop chasing him was on foot, but he grabs a kid's bicycle. So the police chase, cop on a bike chasing thief on a scooter. There he goes. Why? Was he in the car? He left the car somewhere else, and this is the way to go get the guy on the scooter. They made the arrest.
No, there's no big wheel. I'm just gonna
He's right.
take this bike.
We're gonna roll with that. Number two, Miller High Life is not just a beer. Introducing Miller High Life Cologne, or Farfume, as they call it. They say it smells like a dive bar. Available for the holidays.
It's the champagne of colognes right there.
Number three, they were doing double takes at a drive-through lane in Canada. A woman rode a cow to get her order.
Oh, that's not right.
A cow named Magnum. Magnum likes being ridden, apparently. The owner says Magnum's got the mentality of a horse and the personality of a dog. Maybe unsurprisingly, Magnum's got its own Facebook and TikTok page.
I really hope they're at a Chick-fil-A and not at a burger joint.
Right? That's the thing.
That's just mean.
Beef.
That's just mean.
Third of the way through the...
Time again. Time to meet three new couples and time to play the Newlywed game. Let's go. First, she's a 27-year-old nanny. He's a 32-year-old material coordinator. They've been married 10 months. Say hi to Irena and John Monty. Hey, John. Irena, good luck to you. Next, she's a 32-year-old senior data administrator. He's a 28-year-old paralegal. They've been married 16 months. Let's meet Renee and David Smith. Hey, David, way to get down those stairs. Good luck, Renee. And finally, she's a 32-year-old surgical technician. He's a 36-year-old sales representative. They've been married 15 months. Say hi to Rosie and Paul Thomas. Ah, very sweet. Hi, Rosie. Hey, Paul. I'm Gary Kroeger, and this is the Newlywed Game. Ready? Ready? Okay, let's go. I'm going to be standing over here, asking you a bunch of questions. I'm looking for matching answers. The couple with the most matching answers will have the most points, and we'll get that honeymoon. Okay? Rosie, I'm going to start with you. I want you to take a look at Paul.
I must admit, I'm really dynamic when it comes to...
Can you finish Paul's sentence for 10 points?
Really dynamic when he's dancing?
When he's dancing?
telling jokes.
She dance like, you know, like...
Are you saying his dancing's a joke? What do you
Yeah,
think?
exactly. Exactly.
What's wrong with this, Gary? Say no more. Say no more. Sorry, no fun. Renee, take a look at David.
I think I have really pretty
Eyes.
Eyes. Thinks he has pretty eyes.
hands.
David, do that again.
Hands.
What's so pretty about your hands?
Actually, she thinks that
I
my hands are
know.
pretty.
But I love his eyes
But she
too.
loves my
Well, what
eyes,
makes
too.
pretty hands on a guy?
Well, no, he has nice hands. They
But you
don't
know, they're
look
kind
all.
of muscular and masculine. You know, they're good for massaging and all.
They don't look all ratty and everything.
Miranda, here's John.
My wife always giggles when we
When you make love, I don't know.
When you make love, okay?
wrestle.
Oh yeah.
John, what happened?
Sometimes I get a play a full moon and I start wrestling with her and she just laughing like crazy, so I just keep it going.
Are you tickling? Too?
Very, very little, but I'm pretty much roughing her around.
All right, let's switch things around, see if you can make some points. John, here's Arena.
My poor husband is so insecure about his.
About my butt.
You're insecure about your butt.
But
What is it? Why be insecure?
When I get stressed, I don't break out on my face.
Oh,
he
you.
breaks out in his butt.
We figured that out already. You need to tell us. David, here's Renee.
Thank you.
The worst meal my husband ever made for me was
The worst meal you ever made.
Rice.
Okay.
Rice.
rice-a-roni.
you mess up rice?
It doesn't cook it long enough, and it's gooey. It's sticky. It's just not right.
You know, just the same kind you get at the Chinese restaurant.
Oh, okay. So you're making it the way you like it, huh? Okay. Paul, take a look at Rosie.
If my husband were given a sex test, he would probably score the highest in the area of...
Okay.
Positions?
I missed that in school. Let's take a look at the area of positions.
Kissing.
Baby, you're such a good kisser when you put your mind to it.
I told her, I'm sorry.
Well, is there a special technique here? What's your
When he
secret?
puts his mind to it, he's great. But most of the time, he's a tease. It's just a... But when he puts his mind to it, I mean, he's awesome.
I'm sorry, baby.
Well, you're not so excited about the fact that you don't have any points yet, Paul. But there's a lot of game to come. Renee and David, you're on the board with 10. Irena and John, you've got 10. Now, can you guess which one of these brides proposed to her husband? We'll find out when we come back. Welcome back to the Newlywed Game. Rosie, I hear that Paul isn't exactly a big spender.
No, on our first date, we went to a 7-Eleven, picked up a couple of Cokes, he picked up a couple of beers, and said he was taking me to this great taco truck in the middle of a really bad neighborhood.
Yeah, but Gary, let me tell you, the taco truck is famous for making great tacos. And it might be in a bad area, but let me tell you, something went right because you're sitting right here.
Okay. Can't argue with you there. Can't argue with it. Rosie, what was your feeling about that?
We had a fantastic date.
Okay.
It really was good.
That's the important thing. Doesn't matter how much you spend.
Yeah, that's
Congratulations. David, what is this I hear about your computer and another woman?
Well, if I come home after work or after dinner, my wife and I, we eat, we talk. We go downstairs, she goes into the bedroom. I go get on the computer, which is otherwise known as my other woman. And otherwise known as the apple of my eye, if you get what I mean.
Cute. Renee, you ever get jealous of this other woman?
I sure do. Because when I want him to spend time with me in bed, he's at the computer.
I'm researching.
Your research. Well, there's some research that she'd like to suggest somewhere else. John, Irena's the one that popped the question, right?
Yes, she did. I came home one evening and there was a trail of Hershey Kisses leading all the way up to my bathtub, and there was rose petals all in my bathtub and a card and a rose on the counter. And when I read the card, it said, now that I've kissed the ground that you've walked on and showered you in the bath of roses, I have only one other wish, and that's to be your wife. And 3 weeks later,
That's very romantic, and that's very. You must have just melted.
I just melted. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, like Paul said, here you are.
All right.
Rosie and Paul, there you are with no points. So
Well,
far.
that's all right. That's okay.
Renee and David, you got 10. You got a match. And Renee and John, you got a match. This is the multiple choice round. I'm going to ask each one of you a multiple choice question. I want you to tell me which of the 3 answers your mate said. If you're a match, you get 10 points. Irena, starting with you. Did John say you don't appreciate how good he is at planning a romantic evening, taking care of himself, or attracting other women?
Planning a romantic evening?
No, that's not what John said. John?
Attracting other women.
So I might suggest you work on planning those romantic evenings a little bit, too.
I agree.
Renee, according to David, one of the first things you wanted to do when you returned from your honeymoon was open the wedding presents, check out the wedding pictures, or go on a diet.
Opening the wedding presents.
That's what David said. How come David. Just...
When we got back from the honeymoon, the place was a mess, so we cleaned up, but we had also planned this gift opening party. So she wanted to open the gifts before all the guests got there, and that just wasn't gonna happen. You know?
Renee,
I can't help it. I love gifts.
You must be fun at Christmas. Yeah.
Expensive.
Yeah. Rosie, according to Paul, you're giving him the go-ahead for sex when you flash a seductive smile, fondle his behind, or tell him he has 10 minutes before your show starts.
Flash a seductive smile.
Honey, you know when you rub my behind, it leads to everything.
But it also puts him to sleep sometimes.
Well, sometimes it puts him to
Yeah,
sleep.
sometimes
Paul?
it puts you to sleep.
Afterwards. Oh, man.
No points. Here's another chance. Paul, did Rosie say around the house you act like a janitor, a chef, or a guy on vacation?
Probably a guy on vacation.
You got some points. David, when Renee is in a bad mood, you sit down and talk about it, try to cheer her up, or stay as far away from her as possible.
I would say I have to sit down and talk about it.
We all can learn from you, David. That's very nice. Renee, he really does that?
Yes, he does. He's very communicative.
David?
If something's bothering her and, you know, it's gonna affect us, then, you know, I want to at least try to help get it out the way.
Yeah.
Stop! Y'all stop!
Yeah, it's also a real good way to protect your butt.
There you go.
Finally, John, did Arena say you are most selfish when it comes to deciding where to go for dinner, deciding what movie to see, or deciding what happens in bed?
Deciding what happens in bed.
No, Arena?
Only, of course. Remember last night?
Yes, yes. Oh.
What was the argument?
We're staying in a hotel here, and we're trying to look what kind of movie we want to choose. And I said, I want to see the first Wives Club or something. No, you want to have action. It's like,
Yeah, I wanted to have action.
So,
I wanted a long
it was
kiss
action.
goodnight. And
Ongoing argument. Chick flicks, guy flicks. And we're going to keep going on. Next, we'll find out these brides' most personal secrets, so don't go away. Welcome back to the Newlywed game. Rosie and Paul, you're on the board with 10 points.
All right.
Irene and John, you have 10 points as well. Renee and David, you're in a commanding first place lead with 30 points. Before the show, we had some time to talk to your wives privately, and they revealed little secrets that I have right here. I'm going to reveal these secrets to you guys. If you think it's your wife that said that, hold up that sign that you now have. Let's see it. Pick it up, John. Hold it up and yell out, "That's my wife!" Great. Now, if you're right, and that was your wife, you will get 10 points. But if you're wrong, so you have to be sharp, you will lose those 10 points. The first one up is the only one that can win or lose. She says that when you sleep, you look like a little baby.
That's my wife.
You were first, but you were not correct. You were just a little slow there. It was Arena.
good
What-
boy.
What's he look like? Let's
So
see.
sweet. So...
Yeah. Oh. She never feels bad if she keeps you waiting.
That's my wife?
You didn't get it up in time. Who said that?
Oh!
You don't feel bad when you keep me waiting?
No, I don't.
She says that you have even worse breath than her. Who said that?
Never said anything about my breath.
Excuse me?
Oh,
Excuse me?
Well, that implies, though, that your breath is bad, Rosie.
No, but it's another show.
She's never said anything about my breath.
She's never mentioned it.
Never mentioned it.
I think that she will now. She loves to wear sexy lingerie.
that's my wife.
Yes! How do you feel about it, John?
Oh, I love it.
He buys it.
I buys it.
As it should be. Her biggest sexual secret is that she fantasizes about Tom Cruise. Who said that?
You always talk about Steven Seagal. When did Tom Cruise come in the picture?
Tom Cruise over Steven Seagal.
Renee,
Love Tom Cruise.
what is it about Tom Cruise? I mean, not
He's
that.
sexy. He's gorgeous. He's just.
He's married.
It's a fantasy.
She drank so much at your wedding that the whole night was a blur. Who didn't remember that? Who said it?
I was sick the next day.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that was my wife, John singing here.
I'm sorry.
Oh. During lovemaking, she wishes you wouldn't be so quiet.
That's my wife.
Hey, way to go.
All right. I'm concentrating, Gary. I'm concentrating.
What's that?
I'm in deep concentration.
You're concentrating, Rosie?
My next move.
You're,
Deep concert, very deep
yeah,
concentration.
you're suggesting a little less concentrating. All right. Stick around and find out which one of these couples will win that dream second honeymoon when we come back. Welcome back to the Newlywed Game. At the end of this final round, one of these couples will be on a dream come true second honeymoon. Ellen, tell them where they're going.
Gary, today's winners are going on a Caribbean cruise. They'll spend 1 week aboard a Costa cruise ship, Europe's leading cruise line. Visit ports such as St. Thomas, Grand Cayman, Ocho Rios, and Costa's private island. Experience cruising Italian style from Costa Cruises. Back to you, Gary.
Thank you, Ellen. All right. You've all got an equal shot at it right now. Irene and John, 20 points. Yeah! Renee and David, 20 points. Rosie and Paul, 20 points. Here's how you're going to do it. I'm going to give your wives a couple of choices. She'll hold up the sign. The best applies to you guys. You then have to match. I start at 10 points. It keeps going up till I get to 100 points for the last one. So you can make a lot of points real fast here. You ready? All right. Here we go. For 10 points, rice or beans? Get them up there, ladies. John.
Rice.
David.
Rice.
Beans, she said. Paul.
That's easy. Rice.
For 20 points, modest or full of himself? David?
Modest.
Good.
Modest.
Good, John.
Full of myself.
She says you're modest. For 30 points, last one to leave or escapes early? Paul?
Escapes early.
Good.
Yes.
John?
Last one to leave.
Says you escape early. David?
Escape early.
There you go. For 40 points, can touch his toes, can touch his knees. John?
Touch my toes.
Good. David?
All right.
Touch my knees.
Good, you got it. Paul?
You touch my toes.
Got it.
Good job, baby.
Good job, sweetheart.
For 50 points. Totally intense or Mr. Mellow? David?
Mr. Mellow.
Good, you're totally got it. Paul?
Mr. Mellow.
Mr. Mellow, you're right. John?
Mr. Mellow.
Says you're totally intense.
I'm intense.
It's getting dangerous where you're sitting there.
Jeez.
For 60 points. This is a big one. Think about this one. Likes the lingerie or prefers her naked? Paul?
Prefers her naked.
Good. It's a big one, John.
Loves the lingerie.
Got it! David?
Prefers her naked.
Got it. Okay, right now, in first place are Rosie and Paul. In second place are Renee and David with 220. Irene and John, you're in this game. You've got 130. You can still play for a tie. This is the big one for 100 points and that Caribbean cruise. Sexual know-it-all or asks for advice? I'm going to start with you, John. This will put you in a first place tie with 230.
Sexual know-it-all.
Yes! David? Now, the pressure's on you a bit. You get this right, you've got 320. You're alone in first place.
Ask for advice.
No, I'm sorry. Paul, the pressure's on you now. You're in a first place tie with Irene and John. You get this right, and you are the winner with 330. Otherwise, we're going to play a tiebreaker. What is it?
Sexual know-it-all.
No! Okay, we're gonna play a tiebreaker. Irena and Rosie, I want you to pick up that card you have, and you have a magic marker. Now, I'm going to ask you a question about you guys, the wives I'm talking to. Then it's going to be up to these guys to match. The first correct match is going to get the trip. Okay? How many times a week do you have sex? The one who's closest will win. Okay, put them over your husband's heads. Get it up there, Rosie. Because, Paul, I'm going to start with you.
I'm gonna have to say twice.
All right, you are dead on. You are dead on, which means, John, you can't come closest unless you're right on the money.
5.